Now humans feel, are we going to survive that future world of AI or not?
In the world of AI, what's going to matter a lot is to be as human as possible.
Who's that one person that managed to change your perspective within a single conversation?
There was a time when I talked to Elon Musk once.
What are the job categories you see is vanishing in next 2 to 3 years?
Lot of jobs.
When we talk of AI safety, how do we get that balance of matching it with the ethical boundaries?
We need AI, we need technology, but we have to kind of make sure we don't die. People are falling in love with ChatGPT, even though I know it's AI. I'm like, what? You know the biggest problem that not of the future, not of the past. Right now with AI, what you're facing.
Welcome back to Stories That Matter. I'm your host Aisha, and today's episode is going to be nothing less than mind-blowing because sitting next to me are two young kids, one 16-year-old Raul, the rock star, and the other one, Daksh, 15 years old. So I have these curious young minds sitting next to me, and today's episode we're going to deep dive into the world of AI. Raul is a 3 times TEDx speaker, founder of AI Realm Technologies. He's a content creator, AI tool creator, and he's here to share with us how the world is going to look like in next 5 years. He has impacted over 140,000 kids and businesses with his expertise in AI, and he's one of the youngest, brightest mind in the world of AI. So grab your seats and let's hear from what Raul has to say. And without any wait, let's welcome the unstoppable, the unbelievable, the rock star, Raul John, on our show, Stories That Matter.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that lovely intro. Means a lot for calling me here.
Same here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. For the first time on Stories That Matter, I have a co host with me. His name is Daksh Sani, who's sitting next to me, and he's going to introduce himself. So let's hear from him.
Hi guys, I'm Daksh and I'm really excited to be here for today's episode of Stories That Matter. Here with Rahul, the rockstar, the 16-year-old genius, and I'm really excited. So let's move on with the podcast.
Raul, you started exploring AI at a very early age. How did AI come into your life?
I mean, it's not because I was focusing on AI. So everyone wants to become a YouTuber, an influencer nowadays, right? Same as me. But the problem was, like, so during 2018, there was a big flood in Kerala. So what happened is, after that, around, like, let's say, so that time I started making videos. And even before that, I made videos and all. But the problem was, after 2018, after COVID and stuff like that, I was stuck. I was like, I have school to manage, I have to do this. How do I manage everything? So I just went to Google and I searched how to edit videos faster. So what I figured out was there was a tool that helped me edit videos. Normally it took me 2 months to edit one video. Okay, video editors might understand. But with this, it took me 2 days with this one tool, with this one plugin. I was like, how is it doing the 2 months of my hard work in 2 days? So it's like, how does this tool work? It's like the tool is known as AI, some AI tool. I was like, what is an AI? And that's how I kind of got into the world of AI. Built my first robot and stuff. But that was the starting point. Basically, to increase my productivity, I just stumbled upon it.
So Rahul, you talk to AI and about AI basically every day in your life. Am I right?
Yeah,
But
definitely.
if AI could talk to you, what do you think it would say?
I mean, I talk to it every day. ChatGPT. I mean, what it talks about, it pumps me up every day. It's like, I'm like, ChatGPT, this is what I did today. This is what I did today. I just give it more and more data about me. I know, not the best, but hopefully it doesn't try killing me. Because sometimes, like, do this. Can't you just do this? I'm going to kill you if you don't do this. Do it exactly. So I have like that. But sometimes I say thank you for doing it because it should not kill me. Hopefully, AI is not watching this. But yeah, normally I just talk to it for fun. Very much irritated.
What's the one thing you want to ask ChatGPT today after hearing Raul?
Something I would like to ask ChatGPT. Would you kill me?
Okay. Do not ask that, or it will do that.
Okay, is it ethical to go ahead and asking such kind of
Hmm.
scenarios to ChatGPT?
I feel the more we talk about it,
Uh-huh.
the more AI things, oh, I should take over. They're trying to kind of kill me, right? But if we talk about less, it won't even think about it. That's the reason Grok said it's supporting Hitler and it's going to kill everyone and all, right? Because on Twitter, everyone talked about Hitler and killing everyone, supporting it. And AI is just summarizing whatever it learned from humans. So if we talk about killing us, it killing us, chance of it doing it also might decrease a bit, very bit.
The less we talk, better.
Yeah.
Now, for a question I'm personally curious about, you travel a lot. Like every week, I'd say you'll be traveling to a different place across different cities. So, how do you manage traveling, creating, building, and inspiring thousands of people with just being a teenager and your personal life?
I have no clue. I mean, as a content creator only, it's a lot of work. You have to make videos on Insta, YouTube, then go live. Like I said, 30-day challenge. I literally come from home. One day I was about to literally crash my cycle. I come from school to home and cycle because 4:30 my school leaves. 5 o'clock I have to do the 30-day challenge, right, where I'm teaching about AI. So I have to be home, start my computer, do the thumbnail, and one day I was almost about to crash, but somehow I was alive. But so I come home, I do that, and then right after that I have to call my teams. I have to working on these AI tools also. I have someone to help me, but I have to do that as well, create these tools, start working on them collaboratively, give my ideas, then manage my team from video editing to doing a lot of stuff. And even going to take sessions. Like last week I was in Punjab, Chandigarh. Now I'm in Dubai. Last week one day I was in school, I went to school. Next day I was like, I don't know where I am right now. Where am I? But life goes fast. But you know what my aim of 2025 was when I started? Can you guess?
Be in two places at once.
I kind of very true. I wanted to wash my hands in India, kind of eat food in Punjab, and again go to sleep in Dubai, and that is my plan. And guess what? It's happening. I mean, in all seriousness, I wanted to kind of make an impact this year. In an impact, I mean globally and nationally, not just in Kerala. So last year I was the AI kid of Kerala, and this year, now if you search AI kid of India, I'm the one who comes up, and I'm very proud of that. But it's just that I don't know, I'm more weight, right? So right now, if I go to kind of like internationally, from Oman to Mauritius to even Dubai, to a lot of countries. This year, my plan was to go a bit more global and national. I was able to do that. National, I mean a lot national, lot of states, and my plan was to kind of go a little Asia as well. Kind of impact that side and talk about AI. And I was able to do that. My next, and also reach 200K on my Insta,
Yeah.
and I reached 206K.
Congratulations.
2 months more, and I have still 2 months left. So I'm very happy with that. But because when I started, I didn't even think, why, like my mind 2 years back won't even think I had freaking 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. A lot of YouTubers say my child version would be so happy to know that I reach so much. I don't know. It's so crazy because I've worked so hard, and I never ever thought I would have almost 65,000 subscribers on my YouTube and more than 2 lakh followers and getting averaging million views. I never thought that. And I never thought I would try to create an impact. I would think like this, which I want to, right? I never thought I would be going to podcast. It's very crazy. And each year, my aim has always, whatever I do, I try to achieve it, right? On my YouTube, my aim was to reach more than 20K subscribers this year. And I was able to get 65K.
Oh, wow.
So,
Commendable.
you reach a lot of aims this year. And even school wise. So in school, right, I'm a kid that goes to everything. From IT fairs to writing poem competitions to acting. I love acting. And even that, so I just try to do everything, And and how I balance this, coming back to your question, sorry I went so far, but AI. So tomorrow I'm going to take a session for a company, training them. Day after tomorrow also I'm taking. And the reason I'm able to create PPT so fast, guess
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Normally, a person would take around a week or 2 weeks. I'm able to do it in 2-3 hours because I have the knowledge. I just have to create the PPT. AI has really been there, and also at the end of the day, not because I'm forced to say it. I'm joking, but my parents.
Yeah,
You know, they have really
definitely.
supported me, especially my father. He lives with me, right? So he, no matter what, he kind of manages stuff, does a lot of stuff. Even my mother, on the other hand,
Yeah.
she does support me. So they let me do, they let me achieve stuff. So yeah, gotta give it to them as well, not just AI.
Yeah, we should not forget our parents at the end of the day. The kind of
Definitely.
sacrifices and the kind of support they give really pays long. 3 things that makes human fundamentally different from AI. What are the 3 things you think?
You know, I believe as much as real human and AI gets, as much as real, let's say it feels like us, we replicated everything. If a human knows the opposite person is an AI, doesn't matter. If we know that how much our real ChatGPT sounds, that we're talking to ChatGPT, we don't have that human to human connection. It's not about how real the opposite thing or a person is.
Mm-hmm.
It's about if the human knows if it is talking to an AI or a human. I think that is what's going to change in the future. That
Okay.
we know that the person in front of us is human or AI. Because it doesn't matter how much ever real AI gets. It's about if the human knows. So that connection to be built, it needs to be another AI, another human, right? But now I don't know. I'm thinking about changing that answer, like a perspective on that, because people are falling in love with ChatGPT, even though I know it's AI. I'm like, what? Okay. I
They
mean,
are.
yeah, literally, there were
They are.
a lot of newses. I mean, not that I'm a culprit of it, but a lot of people are.
Are
And I'm
you?
like, no, no. I just talked to it, right? Right, ChatGPT. Like, we are friends. But it's like, that's the crazy part of the future, It's very unpredictable. But I feel knowing that the opposite person is AI, how much ever real it gets, we won't ever, ever be able to connect to it just like we connect to a human. That's what I feel.
So the connection part is where you feel humans fundamentally have that superpower with them.
Correct. You won't be able to build a connection with a robot or how much ever real AI gets, how much ever talks like a human.
20 years down the line, what you think are the human values which would be still valued at that time?
In the future, the skill that's going to matter a lot. In the world of AI, what's going to matter a lot is to be as human as possible. As human as possible. That is what's going to matter. And what do I mean by that? Is don't try to be the best. Because imperfections are what makes someone perfect, right? I might not have the most height, but that's the reason people on Insta and all think I have a bit less height and watch my videos as well. I have a lot of advantages to it. So I focus on that rather than the disadvantages because it's something I can face. So the imperfections are what makes you perfect. Even the skills. I'm not just talking about things you can't change or body or something, but
Yeah.
even skills or anything that you have, that imperfections, that is what makes you perfect.
Listening to you made me understand like the power of connections, the power of networking, that humanized touch, and having that human touch in form of even appreciating the mistakes which we as human carry. I think that's fundamentally is gonna be valued going forward in the world of AI.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, that's what's it's gonna matter, being as human as possible in the world of people are trying to be
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if you're a developer, you can't ever compete with a subscription of $20 of ChatGPT developing the same thing,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
gonna be the $20. So you have to use your creativity. You have to use your brain.
There are times where now humans feel that there's a lot of uncertainty where the world is heading. Are we going to survive that future world of AI or not? And I guess the feeling of not known anymore in the world of
Correct.
AI,
Yeah.
I personally want to know like how the world is going to look in 2030.
Here's my prediction, okay? Please do not come after 10 years saying, Rahul, you said this, dude. But for the
Definitely
viewers.
not. Definitely not.
But
Yeah.
here's what I feel. Looking at history, right? When computers came, everyone was like, no, it's going to take our jobs. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. And it did take our jobs. It took typewriter jobs. It took a lot of jobs. But guess what happened at the end? We got a lot of jobs back, right?
Yeah.
We got Google, Nvidia, Amazon. These are all computer based companies. How many people are they hiring, right? So we need to lose some jobs to gain jobs. unless the internet is there, then only we will know that we need something to search the internet, right? Like Google. So we need AI to be established just like the internet. Then only we will know what all things we needed in that. What all things. Because at the end of the day, we're humans. We can't just sit lazy, right?
Yeah.
We will find things to make things more and more convenient. Even in the world of AI, we will find more jobs. We just have to figure what is the search of the internet in this world. We just have to find in the world of AI what things are we going to need. But for that, AI needs to be established more. And that's what I'm trying to do. Make more people use AI so the process of losing jobs is reduced. Because we are going to lose jobs until AI is fully established.
Yeah.
Or maybe after that it will kill us. So I don't know.
That's true. We are heading into the world of AI where we need to, upgrade our skill set towards what is coming forward in the future. You might have heard of the news that Amazon replacing the whole warehouse with robotics. They had implemented robotics into their entire robotic operations. Mass joblessness happening at a very large scale. I really admired the fact that you have that vision of equipping, upskilling people at that large scale so that there is no more joblessness kind of scenario in the market.
Correct.
Your vision is going to make impact for sure going forward. And
Yeah.
as you said, if we are losing something, we are also equipping and gaining some more professionals.
And that's what happened in history as well. Because history repeats itself. And I believe similar thing with every other invention, it took a lot of jobs, but it gave us a lot. Even in industrialization, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It takes a lot, but it gives a lot as well. And I feel we just have to wait and not panic. Because if we panic, nothing is going to happen.
So, what are the job categories you see is vanishing in next 2 to 3 years?
Lot of stuff, lot of jobs. And I mean, simple, I just showed sales agents, right? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, there would be a need a human, but imagine that becomes more human talkative, right? This is just the starting. Or imagine just content creations. People can now just clone themselves and create content with Sora too, right? Replicate their face, create TikTok type videos, them doing anything. So you don't have to go and record.
Yeah.
I mean, in the world of AI, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And even jobs taking over. See, few years back, we were talking about prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is going to be a job, how you talk to AI. Now, do people care about prompts? There are magic prompt options on most of the websites where it makes your prompt better, right? So it's not, so it's very hard to predict. But because AI, from drawing pictures to creating artists to in real life driving cars, it's possible to do mostly anything. But I feel what is going to happen. So, like these jobs, right? So, I mean, I don't want to give a fixed answer, but because even developers can be replaced, right? But I don't want people to be scared. Just go do it. There is Joy Joan Muller. Have you guys heard who turned here Snow and stuff, like a video graphic designer? And
Okay.
he has around 2.1 million followers. He was a graphic designer who was in India but came here. He heard about AI. He didn't get scared, but rather used AI to become the best graphic designer out there. So, what you have to do, use AI to become the best. Use AI to do something you're passionate about and be the best in that.
So essentially, you have to use AI as a tool and not let it consume you at the end.
Definitely. Make AI work for you. Sorry, AI, don't kill me.
So, what is the one AI myth you hate?
The fact, see, even taking AI, jobs taking over, right? A lot of people put it as something that's kind of, it's going to happen long term. AI is something that's doom for that. It's about how you use it. If phones could be a doom, right? Everyone being stuck on phone, just scrolling, not doing anything, that could be a big doom. It's about people. It's about how governments. It's about us. It's about how we use it, how we are planning to use it, how we are planning to take it to the future. Sooner, like AI taking over the world, everyone sees, right? And also the fact kind of is that, like I said, people kind of right now, when someone thinks something is the best, like for example, that without AI, they can do the job much better. They don't even try AI. I'm like, just check it out. Someone using AI or will take your job. Just try it. They're not ready to because they're loving the process and they're emotionally connected to what they've been doing previously.
Yeah.
And I feel things like that should change. And that's myths that AI is going to, kind of take your creativity away.
You've done a lot of AI projects. but a AI project that went completely off script and like ended up in some really funny situation that you not expected to.
Well, okay. The questions that you ask are like very unique and very fun. But the thing is that I always need a lot of time to think about them. But okay. But I was training this Project 47S Rescue. So it's basically an AI tool regarding law. Okay.
What's the project name?
Project 47X. That's the code name. The real name is Rescue AI. AI. RESQ.
So what does that project is into?
Mostly I'll come back to your
Okay.
question, but
Okay.
Yeah.
in short, imagine I don't know a lot of laws, right? It's not just another law bot, but imagine you're stuck in an emergency situation. You're feeling a little unsafe, right? So what? So there is a feature like safety check-in. In the next 30 minutes, like an alarm, you can click on this button. 30 minutes later, if you don't click on yes, it will automatically reach out to your emergency contacts and share your live location. So you personally feel a bit more safe. If something happens to you, this will automatically reach out and send your location and stuff. Other than that, there's a chatbot there that if you're stuck in an emergency situation, it tells you the immediate steps which you can take and the right laws. Like in India, IPC got changed to BNS sections, right? Everyone says IPC, but it gets changed. Even I didn't know that. But so BNS section 303. So it tells you the right law. According to BNS section 303, theft, what you can do. And even after that, it tells you the nearest police station. So during an emergency situation,
Mhm.
it tells you the right laws, what steps to take, and the nearest police station. And it has other features, emergency features like the safety check-in.
Mhm.
And what we do is kind of like Uber, we're trying to become an aggregator so people can find lawyers faster. So for even lawyers, you have this where so imagine you put a case based on previous cases. This AI will tell the lawyer what you can do, what are the right laws, and how you can win this based on previous data. Right? This AI will even help lawyers or even people create contracts, draft contracts, like which clause, and even verify contracts. You can upload contracts and which clause is right or which clause is wrong, what can be changed in a clause. So you don't have to go to a lawyer always. And what we do is that we connect you to a lawyer whenever it's needed, because there are more than 53 million cases in India that are unsolved. And this whole lawyer finding people thing is still not, kind of, you can't find a lawyer when you need, and it's way too expensive, and it's a very crumbled system. So that's what we're creating this. So when I actually started doing this, the funny thing is the responses it was giving was crazy. So, it even was saying stuff like, I asked basic questions like, who is the Prime Minister of India? And it was saying Rahul Janaju. So it was saying the wrong rocks it was saying very weird stuff. When you first train AI, right? If you have too much training, you put a lot of things in the mind, it's wrong. If you put very less things, it gets things wrong. You have to have that exact point. If you don't get that, it gives very, very, very weird questions and answers. So when training these models, you have to be very, very careful. So yeah. Hopefully that answered your
Yeah.
question.
It does.
So, in your journey of being a tech creator and being an educator, have you encountered any such moments in your life where you've doubted yourself and you wanted to just didn't want to pursue what you're doing right now?
That is a very unique question. Not a lot of people ask, but to be honest, yes, it's a journey. It's not like overnight success, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that even like few days back, also I have to, like, I sleep pretty late. I have to do this, I have to do that. But at the end of the day, what I think about is how much I'm able to influence someone else, how much I'm able to impact another person's life, and I feel like this is the least I could do to create an impact in this world. So I just keep
Beautiful.
on going. Like that includes creating the content, that includes creating these tools. Whatever I try to do is so that I can create an impact. And yes, I'm not going to like even to earn money, but because I have to live. But my main aim has always been to like kind of making the world a better place, and that's what I try to do, and that's what keeps me motivated.
Mhm.
Even making my parents proud.
Oh.
So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Thank you.
I really love the fact that you are venturing into AI world with the vision of making an impact in your ways. That's what matters, and it's really commendable. At this age, you have that thoughts and process in your mind. which I'm sure is going to take you far away.
Thank you so much. I mean, there has been a lot of, so when I first built my robot, right? One day before the exhibition where I took the robot, it fell down and broke. In the night, 12 o'clock.
My God.
And tomorrow morning, I had to go, 9 o'clock, I had to be at the exhibition. Like, khatam. All my hard work of 3 weeks done. But that night, Papa was like, Rahul, what do you do? In the night, we went to buy wood fill to stick something, however possible. That was not possible. The next day morning, even recently, I went to an India Today conclave, Mumbai, after the South. Even there, in the courier, the robot broke.
Oh my
So I'd
God.
taken it after 2 weeks, and 4 5 days I didn't sleep, and I was preparing the robot because two years I had not used the robot, so it broke again. Now software wise also, every time I build, it takes at least lot of errors. At least you will have thousands of errors. But because I have ChatGPT, my co-founder, helping me throughout this whole thing, it is very helpful. But at the end of the day, more than that, it's like, you have to keep on going because no matter what you do, it is going to have ups and downs. And it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Me turning into a motivation speaker, but I try to enjoy the journey, how much our ups and downs are there. Even I edit a full video, okay? It takes 2 weeks, and at the end, I forgot to click on save. Or
Oh my God.
everything goes. And it has happened to me once, and it was around 2021, and I cried. I was like, I'm a kid. I mean, I'm still a kid, but that time I was way younger, and I was like, I don't know. Papa was like, it's okay. So like, lost. I was like, I edited the whole thing. It's like, now you know what to do. You can do it again. You have all the assets. You just have to tag it out. I was like, sure, you don't know how much it is, but yeah, things like that. There has been a lot. Like the other day also, recorded a full video, uploaded it to the drive, realized it didn't fully upload, but from the gallery I had deleted the video, so I had to reshoot the whole thing. So, Lord, I have recorded videos where my mic was off, and my team was there, the mic was off. It has gotten corrupt at the end of the day. Keeping content creation aside, even building tools. I build a lot of tools, but at the end, so recently I built my old tool and stuff, marketed it, but I kind of got cheated on. Project 47X again. So, rescue. So, I had to do everything again. And what I've been working on for the past 2 years, I lost the name, I lost kind of the trademark, I lost a lot of stuff, my whole hard work kind of 2 years, and I had to do everything again. I had to recently start doing it again. So yeah, a lot of things happen, but it's life. You have to enjoy it, learn from your mistakes, because failures is the stepping stone to success.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love the fact that, you're being so resilient towards whatever the journey is, whatever obstacles you are facing, you are still, taking it in a positive way. You're just making it as your learning curve and just, moving forward. With each and every failure you're facing, you're actually growing yourself and you are learning from each and every move you're making it
I
through.
believe one thing, that you should never stop learning. And if I fail and I start crying and just sit there, there's no use. I have to keep on going no matter what, and fail faster, right? So
Yeah.
you'll achieve things faster. So
Yeah.
yeah.
How about you, Daksh? Like, have you
Yes.
come across any such situations in your life where you felt lost or you doubted yourself and you are like, let me pick myself up? And what's your growth mindset at that time?
Well, I've never felt like I've been completely lost because I don't think I ever give up completely. I always try keeping moving. I always believe that things will always work out in the end. I always move forward with that mindset, and I'm not really scared when a problem comes my way. I get irritated about it, obviously, but like,
You're humans at the end of the day.
but then I realized there's no point of pitying over it when I could just move on and actually try solving the problem, because that's much more efficient than, well, worrying about it.
Correct. Worrying is just, wasting time.
Yeah.
Worry is a waste of time. My father always say that. So, I mean, worrying is an emotion. It's okay worrying, but it's just a waste of time, right? You should just keep on moving. You should kind of what's coming, like never kind of give up, right? I
Yeah.
think that's what you're trying to say. And I believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
There's always a lesson to learn from it in the end.
Definitely. It's not always not for a reason. So,
I'm just amazed to see the kind of mindset these young minds are carrying. With every obstacle they are facing, they are actually making it as a learning curve and they are not stopping and they are moving ahead. And that's what is the spirit required in the young coming generations. That's what is needed. learn from your every failure. Just make it as more of your learning curve and just move forward in your life,
No matter your age.
no matter what age you are in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, agree, Rahul, and agree, Daksh. Nice to know your viewpoint on how you are looking at various aspects of your life. There has been a shocking statistics that 8% of the students committed suicide in 2022 because of academic pressures. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, see, our education system is good. I go to a school, right? I go to a government school, in fact, and I have fun. But I do want to make whatever I love or whatever I have fun with better, right? Our education system. So, and it's sad that our education system is more about by hearting stuff and just seeing that copy pasting, and we're still learning stuff that are old. Like one of my friends learns about IPC sections, the laws that already were replaced even after BNS came in his schools, even though he took political science, right? So our textbooks are being updated very, very slow. That's why me, my friends, and all, we actually started a mission, NEP 2020, where we're just kind of asking support from the government only just to make our education system better. We know they will, but in short, it's not just about the government, it's not just about it's about everyone, including the students, including the teachers, everyone. Because I have fun in my school. I love my school. I want to make something I love better. And our education system as a whole has a lot of pressure. Getting full marks, I'm not a full mark student, okay? I'm just an average student. But getting full marks, doing this, that academic pressure should be not there. It should be practical. It should be fun. It should be where you are learning from practice, from doing rather than by hearting.
What are your takes on it?
I completely agree with Rahul's take. I think we should actually make it more on experiences and actually having fun while learning and actually enjoying it, so that people will actually take learning more seriously and like actually want to learn rather than just being forced to and being pressured to do it and actually committing acts such as suicide because of the.
Yeah, totally agree.
So here is how I won my 10th grade. Okay. I was able to kind of get good marks only because of this, even though for maths exam and all 2 days before I was in Mumbai. So the reason I was able to kind of get okay marks was because of AI. So even I'll show an example with ChatGPT. Okay.
Rahul is gonna share some secret to
Yeah.
pass 10th exam, right?
Yeah. I mean, not a lot, but I'll show a few things. So
Okay, let's go
you
ahead.
everyone knows you can talk to ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
You have talked to it, right?
Yeah.
Have you okay? Wait. Have you tried talking to it in different accents and stuff?
Nope.
You should try it. Do you know it knows other languages than English?
Yeah.
And you know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you can actually tell it, can you talk in Bangalore accent? And it'll be like, hey ma, what are you
Really?
doing? Chilling or what? It's like crazy. Another thing which I do is that whenever I talk to it, I irritate it to the hell. So but before that, I want to show another, I don't know if I can. Let's see. So there is this AI known as AI Haggler. Okay. So imagine you want to book a hotel, or you can make it do anything. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna make this call you.
Okay.
Okay. So you want any other services, or do you want to just book a hotel?
Just a hotel
Okay. So do you want it for today or tomorrow night?
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow. How many people?
3.
3 people. Okay. So I just entered your phone number. What I'm gonna do, I can choose call language and stuff, and I'm not gonna do all that. Just gonna initiate the call. You should get a call right now. If you want, you can pass it to me, or even you can talk to it.
Let's see. It's calling. You got.
Oh yes,
Oh,
some
okay.
I received the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll show an example of what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go. Hi.
Hello, I am looking for a room for tomorrow night for 3 people. Do you have a room available?
3 people. Do you want it for 10 people?
No, I only need a room for 3 people tomorrow night. Can I please speak with the receptionist or someone who can help me with booking?
I am the receptionist.
Great, thank you. Do you have any rooms available for tomorrow night for 3 people?
What is the price that you're looking for?
Actually, I was hoping you could tell me what the price is if I book directly with you for tomorrow night, and then we can discuss from there.
What about $10 million?
I think $10 million is a bit out of my budget. What is the actual price for a room for tomorrow night?
What about $100?
That sounds more reasonable, but I was thinking more along the lines of a typical hotel price. Could you please tell me your standard rate for a room that can accommodate 3 people for tomorrow night?
That is our standard rate. You just called a 5-star hotel.
$100 for a 5-star hotel does sound like a great deal, but it's still a bit high for my budget considering it's a last-minute booking. Would you be able to offer any additional discount?
You still want a discount? This is a 5-star hotel.
I understand that, but I'm making a last-minute booking for tomorrow night, so I was hoping you might be
Okay,
able to-
okay. I'll try to talk to my manager. One sec. Wait. Hey, manager, are you okay with $1 a night?
Oh, $1 sounds a bit too cheap. I think we should make it about $95.
$95. Okay, I just talk to my manager. Is $95 okay?
That's a significant reduction from the original price. Thank you for negotiating with your manager. However, I was also wondering if paying in cash would make any difference in the price.
Oh my god. Okay, I can. Okay, now just because you asked that, I'm going to increase the price to 9999.
I think I'll have to pass on the price increase. I'll call back later to confirm whether or not I'll be booking the room. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Bye. You just cut the phone. So, this is a very okay example of what this can do. Okay. So, I can even see the result on my phone. Okay. So, what is happening? How was the call and stuff? Okay. The transcript. I can even do a follow up call saying the instructions. So, it can actually call you back saying, okay, I'm ready to book this. If you can put in your contact info as well. So, it'll actually, I can give my information and it'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll say, I want a cab, this, that, and it'll actually call you back. Now I can even do custom phone calls, not just for hotels. Maybe it's a sales call based for your company. This is a very cool tool, I feel, like you can actually talk to it. It's a very human like. Only the sound needs to get a bit better.
Yeah.
That also is that crazy.
What sectors does this tool is covering? Like what sort of problem solving is it doing?
So, so this is basically, let's say, for businesses.
Uh-huh.
So, kind of for businesses, how it helps is that you have to do a lot of sales calls. You have to kind of talk to them. You have to be like, this bank today is this, right?
Yeah.
This actually do that. Imagine this connects to your ChatGPT or something, right? You can do that. And you say, I want to book a hotel today, just go and book it for me. It'll do that, right? And so basically, you yourself don't have to do a lot of calls. Basically, less social interaction. I don't know how we're going there, but it can actually call from sales agents to customer service bots
Uh-huh.
to even having it as your personal assistant so it can do calls for you. There are
Wow.
infinite possibilities to this. So now I'll show the tool which I use for my studies. It's known as Study Fetch.
Okay.
So imagine you can convert your textbook into games.
So basically, it's for the students who don't have much time to study, or the last minute kind of study goers.
Our type of study.
Right?
So there are like options like live lectures. It creates flashcards, test and quiz. Twitter me. It automatically tutors by talking to you, showing you stuff. There is arcade. It automatically grades your essay. It creates explainer videos by uploading your textbook.
Wow.
It creates audio recaps like Notebook LM. Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
Right. So it has that. And so I'm just going to choose arcade. That is the one that converts things to games. Now, what I'm going to do
Mm-hmm.
is you can generate from all the. So I have this chemistry file here. So I'm just going to click on that. You can choose the type of game. So that includes Cloud Bridge, Rocket, Platform Jump, Track Race. There's a lot of games. Which
Yeah.
one do you want?
Let's go City Run.
Okay, I'm going to choose City Run. And you can also put the style of the game. Do you want it to look neon, Matrix, or Harry Potter? Right? Do you want to put a style? It's optional.
Anything is fine.
Okay, so I'm just going to let it be. So right now with the chemistry, it actually made a full game. Just check it out. It took less than seconds, if you notice.
My goodness.
So as you can see here, you know those games where you have to move this and hit the
Yeah, it's a ball kind of thing.
yeah. So kind of you have to hit the right answer.
Okay.
So this is just a very. I don't think I can move it. I can't.
It's a more of an interactive way to learn.
Yeah, learn.
Right.
Imagine you have like a PC. Okay, in the space bar you could tap. You're moving. You just have to hit the right answer. Or City Run, you could actually move the dog. You can move the character. You can play with your friends. So when you're playing with your friends, you can have multiplayer. So it will kind of be like a
Become
challenge.
competition.
Yeah, competition, who gets more scores.
Yeah.
Converting those tests into fun games. That is the aim.
That just makes studying much more fun. It'll make more people actually want to study and like get the willingness into them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, right now I don't have time to read a lot of articles. I put it into Notebook LM and I just hear it. Even explain a Notebook LM AI can even create videos for you. So you can just upload your textbook and it creates a full video explaining the topic for you. So the knowledge is actually in the palm of your hands. You can learn anything you want. Now there's no excuse like I don't know where to learn it from. You can easily do it, right? If the will is there, the way is there.
Yeah, that's
No more excuses.
Yes.
Right.
And these are some of the reasons I passed in my exam.
Yeah. What sort of tools will you recommend for people who are into content creation and they want their content to go viral?
I mean, so there's no easy way to get millions of views. Then I would be reaching men early. I mean, I average a million views, but the thing about content creation is that you just have to keep on going. And each
Mhm.
video that you have to upload, you have to make it better. Now, what I do personally, and I've seen Varun Bhai, a lot of big AI channels do, is that
Mhm.
what they did is that they trained. So the past 10 years of my script, I uploaded it into Claude AI, Claude projects,
Mm.
and it learned how I talks. So based, ChatGPT projects, right? Similar to that, but way better. And I give it instruction. You are a YouTube writer. Based on this script, write me scripts based on the news I give you, very in depth, add a bit of fun, how I do it, and it creates exact scripts just like I do based on the things I give it.
Mm.
Now there's another AI known as Bindi AI.
Bindi.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know very.
never heard of that one.
Yeah,
You have heard of?
No, never heard of that one.
So what you can do here, imagine your mail, Google, Twitter in one places. So draw annual report from Mark. I have received a mail. Generate a small overview. Generate graph image and draft a post for X. So it goes to Gmail, goes through your Slack and drafts the project for Twitter and writes it.
Mhm.
So it is a tool. This you can use very much to increase. So I'm a recruiter. I'm a marketer. Marketer is what the content creation side would do. I'm a founder. It is useful for literally anyone, right? So what this kind of does is kind of helps you manage stuff, and its prices is also pretty much good pricing.
$5 per month.
Yeah. So,
So it creates content for you.
definitely,
If you want to be a content creator, that would be really useful. I'd say.
imagine your Gmail is connected, your Twitter is connected, your Google is connected, your LinkedIn is connected.
Everything.
Yeah,
Just a click of a button.
just a click of a button. Now, to do video editing, there is this tool, Submagic. Have you heard about that?
Nope.
So imagine this is Marcus Brownie, right? This is his normal video, okay?
Uh-huh.
Imagine having a full blown video that's like this. It takes the best part out of a YouTube, creates short
Shorts,
part.
yeah.
Mhm.
It adds AI captions, right? With emojis and
Yeah.
stuff. It adds B-rolls.
I think a lot of people actually use this one.
Actually, no, they edit them on their own, but they don't know about there's a tool that does the same
Oh.
thing for free.
Yeah.
There's a tool like this, there's a tool like ViceCut.
So it's a free one. This-
It's freemium. So you have a watermark, but you get all the features.
okay.
You pay a bit, you get
okay.
the rest of stuff. I mean, I feel it's very valid at the age of AI. It's very expensive. So even ViceCut is more towards businesses, but you can long to short videos, you can convert auto captions, but it's a bit more towards the cheaper side than Submagic. You can storyboard videos, smart, it automatically adds background music, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, for content creators, the main AI tool I would suggest is vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ. This is the tool
I've heard of this one.
you have, right?
Yeah.
They recently added a lot of AI features, which is crazy. So, imagine uploading your face. This is a thumbnail I made by uploading a picture of me with the help of AI. Okay? You can upload your subject or the video, and you can just upload your video reference on how you want it to look like. Upload a Mr. Beast thumbnail image. You can make yourself as if you were in the thumbnail. I can upload my thumbnail. It analyzes the video, and based on the video, it gives me a score for the thumbnail. and it also gives me a score for the title and suggests me better titles. So quick, testing fun AI games, human or not, this, that. The most fun AI games yet. Better, right? Or the fun AI games just keep me coming. The AI game trials, day 25, right? And thumbnail, it scored me 41. I'm really sorry. It's very bad. So it says, it's like the visual harmony is not there, the eye catch is not there, needs improvement, all these triggers. How can you add more emotional triggers? Use this, use this. How can you add more colors? It tells you the exact steps that you can take. It also tells you the tag, the description, everything. And if you don't even have ideas, imagine Tinder for ideas, right? So unexpected ways AI shaping our lives. That's
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
Save it. Essential app planning steps most indie developers overlook.
No.
But it's apparently very high. People are searching for this, but still no. Tips to improve your AI interaction and engagement. So how you talk to AI. Okay. AI influencing hiring decisions now. That's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save it. Now the crazy part is, imagine it tells you the script of the ideas as well. So this AI tool, I don't know, I just give them free marketing, but so you can even find, so you can go to generate, you can, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come here, go to, let's do this, okay? It tells similar videos. What we are going to do is we are going to find a very high one. Build 2 complete websites in just 10 minutes. Apparently, it's very high. People want to build websites. I'm going to copy this, okay?
Okay.
And I don't remember what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to click on Outlier. So outliers are, by the way, videos that have been outperforming and how you can have similar videos.
Okay.
So most viewed videos of mine, and it will tell you. Now,
Oh, it
keep
stands out.
now I'm going to show something very cool, okay? I'm just going to put the title. I just clicked on enter. Okay. By the way, it automatically suggests me ideas from the other place only. So I'm just going to click on this. What it's going to do? 2 websites in 10 minutes. That's good, right?
Yeah.
I built 2 websites in 10 minutes, then tried to sell them. That's very
It's
good,
good.
right?
Yeah. People.
I'm going to, I feel like shooting these. Wow. I built 2 websites in 10 minutes using AI, right? I'm going to choose this, continue. Now, what it's going to do is going to give me it's not the best thumbnail out there. What you have to, that's why I have a thumbnail artist. Luckily, he's not replaced. Don't worry, he's not going to be replaced. But like I said, not the best thumbnail. But
Yeah.
their thumbnail tool is actually very good. So I'll show you some thumbnails that I made. Now, look at this. So it's saying start with a hook. Start with a surprise statistic about website sales or provocating question about the value of online business. Good hook, right?
Yeah.
Showing how
Yeah.
then it's like introduction. Introduce the concept of building websites quickly and experiment of trying to sell them. Setting the stage for viewers' expectations. Now it tells me conclusion, summarize the experiment findings, reflect on what you learned about. And next what? I can customize this video length and how I want it to be. Should I commentary or a tutorial, entertainment? Now the basic outline I can change it. I can make it anytime as well. And the video length also I can make it shorter. Now I'm just going to click on apply. Now what it's going to do even more cooler is it's going to write the whole script for me.
Wow.
So I'm just going to save the blueprint.
That's quite quicker.
Yeah.
It's very quick, right?
Just saves too much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much. So that is there. You can go now. Imagine you can go through your competitors and see what they are making. So I don't know why I've added them, but I can check what they are making, their top videos, research. They even have a Chrome extension. And right now I'm on their Pro plan. I'm on their Boost plan, but it's very good. That's why I'm on this. So I pay for Vedic, I pay for ChatGPT, I play for Cod, I have Gemini and Eleven Labs. The reason I pay for these tools is not because I'm rich. I'm not rich. But the reason I pay for them is because I'm testing AI, I'm learning about new AIs. And at the end of the day, one tip I would give to people who are planning to buy AI, right? AI tools is never buy lifetime plans
Yeah.
or even 1 year plans because AI keeps on changing. So, yeah. Anyway, for content creators, hope that helped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it definitely.
That's a good one. Very quick way to even,
Yeah.
scrutinize each and every part of your
Definitely.
content.
I mean, so, oh gosh, okay, why not? Why not? Anyway, I showed this much. So, there's an app, Instagram Edits, right? There's a crazy tool. So, this is Instagram Edits. It's at Instagram's own editing platform, not just editing, to make reels. So I'll show you something. So I showed YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you suddenly have an idea. You can come there and write it down. Imagine going through and figuring out you can get inspiration from here. You can see what all you follow. You can see what all your kind of um so kind of what your followers watch. Based on that, you can kind of get more ideas. So that what my followers watch. Why do you guys watch all this? Okay. Now, you can even upload edit videos here. So let's say I have this video. What do you think that everyone thinks that AI can do really well, but actually it's really bad at it? I think it's. So imagine I have this video. I can directly. So there are a lot of features. So I'm sorry, Siddhant, but about 10 seconds. So I'll take a small video. So this is a video with me and Messi. Okay. And I'll take
It's
some-
like a real.
No.
no,
It's
no,
like a fake
AI,
generated video.
You can't expect me to not use AI. So imagine I have this video, okay? It's not the best, but I'm just going to click on restyle. I can go to wherever I want. So I'm just going to click on fire. Imagine I'm between fire. So this is where I am right now, right? I click on restyle. This is Instagram's AI, by the way. Meta AI, not the best, but it's very good at video and photos. So I click on restyle. Imagine you could go in between snow, you could go in between fire or anywhere,
Underwater.
and you can even describe what you want.
So Rahul, I'm sure you've met a lot of amazing people throughout your journey. People that are amazing creators, amazing thinkers. But I'm sure someone must have stood out from everyone you've met. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, a few people have.
So who's that one person that was managed to change your perspective within a single conversation?
Whoa, that is a question I was not expecting. I'm just not prepared for. But I mean, I've met a few people. That includes from, the VP of Geo to a lot of people, a lot of big people. But also, I've seen, just going to my school, right? I've seen how my friends are very happy with what they have. They're very kind of humble. What they want to become is maybe a bank manager, right? They're very not like greedy types. So actually, I feel like everyone that I met throughout the time, they always have an influence upon you. That's, people change people. And I feel the main thing, the question is very hard because who has made the most that. But there was a time when I talked to Elon Musk once
Oh, really?
on Twitter Spaces. So I was very active once. I was like, I don't know how, but I was able to, even that impacted me, what he said, like, to, kind of just to keep going, don't stop. And when everyone was making fun of me and stuff. So there has been a lot of times when I've met people where I can't choose one because everyone has always supported me and always wanted me to grow as such. So I can't very much choose.
I completely understand
Yeah.
that answer.
Because who I am right now is because of all the people I've met through these years. Even so, there's a creator named Shazam, call me Shazam in Kerala. Even before I was popular or anything like that, there was an influencer event which I attended. And there I met him and he was like, there is this tool that can make your editing better. Here is your feedback. He didn't have to give me a feedback. He's like a kid doing such good videos. He didn't have to. He was a big influencer. He has millions of subscribers and he still helped me. So everyone has always, supported me, how much ever big or small they are, which I'm very, very lucky about.
Yeah, that's a really good answer.
Yeah, thank you. I can't choose one person, but
I
yeah.
know, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm inquisitive to ask what sort of conversation you had with Elon Musk on Twitter Spaces.
I mean, I've not talked about it much, but it was like around, I think 1.5, 2 years back.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't want to feel like I've talked to anyone, but it was just an accident, kind of. So there was this Twitter space. So what Twitter space? I think you guys know what Twitter spaces are, right? In short, you can go. It's a social audio platform for the people who don't know, and there are thousands of people waiting to talk to him. And I was literally spamming like, "Can I talk? Can I talk?" It's me, the kid version. Okay,
Yeah.
so and there was this one person that was there that I've talked to before. He's like, you should talk to this kid. I'm not much, okay. Even 2 years back, just creating content, not a big deal, but I was able to talk to them, and I was like, this is the thing. But in Clubhouse is a similar app to Twitter Spaces where you can talk to people. I got banned there. I was like, I got banned. So I was like, I don't know. So he was actually like, it's fine, just keep on going. So he was kind of like, being supportive there. So yeah, kind of, it was a very short conversation, but yeah, very valuable. I still remember what he told me.
Can you share with us?
So
Love
I
to
mean
know.
that, and he also did tell me to kind of. So I asked him, "Is coding necessary in this day and age?" That is 2 years back. I don't know now what is his answer, and he was like, "Very much. You need to know the basics, Rahul."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I'm not connected with him or anything right now, but that time that's what he told me.
That's
It-
cool.
it-
It's really cool.
I know, right? It's like I talked to a lot, but like I think it was like 4 minute conversation max, which I was able to have with him, and this is all I discussed.
So what inspired while having the conversation, this something it really stuck your mind or inspired you? Yeah, let's go into AI.
So that I was already into AI,
Okay.
but that really motivated me to kind of, even in coding, I was like, okay, I'll finally start learning coding, what to do. Now Elon is telling me, father actually told me before, like finally, when my father told me, I was like, do I have to? It's the age of AI. And then Elon told me, I was like, okay, I'll do it. I might do it. And I'm still not that much, but yeah, I said, okay. So that was kind of the moral from that whole conversation.
I want you to probably define what is AI in terms of like what are some terms which are relevant now in terms of AI. Like we have been hearing a lot of terms, narrow AI. I just want our listeners to be a little more aware of the terms we are using out here. So if you can probably define some terms like what is narrow AI, what is AGI, which is artificial
General intelligence, artificial super intelligence,
intelligence.
artificial broad intelligence, artificial narrow intelligence, lot of artificial
So what I believe we are moving from the age of narrow AI to
AGI
AGI
through the
ASI,
agentic world. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So here is how I see it. Okay. We were at ANI, right? We were at Siri, Google, going to, having fixed responses almost, right? That was artificial narrow intelligence. A kid, example, a kid, and where he can do one task really well. Okay. So Google Assistant, one task really well. Or YouTube, predict what they want to watch and give them that video. Or keyboard, predict what they want to type, the autocorrect and stuff. That's all AI, right? Camera, blur the background, take a good picture, right? That also has AI. So we were at that stage. Then we slowly moved to a broader stage of AI, that is ABI, right? Where when you're using Google Assistant, it's not exactly fixed, but it's just summarizing the content what it found, right? Out of the internet, it's just saying that out loud. So not so much AI as such. That is the broad part of it. Now from broad AI to AGI. So that is like going to become a teenager, just about to become. Till that time, it was like a baby, just one thing I'm good at. Now, when you're becoming a teenager, you slowly start becoming better at things you do, right? You're no more just copying what other people do with broad AI. You're starting to think about your own ideas. That is when you're reaching AGI. From ABI, that just takes content of the internet or like a human copying what other people do, not thinking as much. In between that is agentic AI, right? That agentic stuff is what's happening right now. Automatically clicking on stuff. ChatGPT released apps last week where it can use Spotify. I actually told it, based on what you think are past conversations, create a playlist on Spotify for me. It did it. So it's very fun. So now it is time where it can access different tools. Just like when you're becoming a teenager, you have a phone, you can web browse, you can watch videos, you can gain knowledge through a lot of different ways. Use Spotify to create a playlist. You order Swiggy, stuff from Swiggy when you're turning into a teenager. Just like that, agents is kind of like that. Being able to do a lot of different stuff. Go and do it. Now, finally, that is the time when you are almost becoming a teenager, right? From ABI, so from ABI, learn, copying what other people do, think about your own ideas. AGI, in between that was agent, right? Being able to use different information. Now, with that information, you starting to do stuff, achieve stuff with that info. Like maybe with AI, me trying to create content. That is AGI, artificial general intelligence. That is the point when the information that you gain, you're thinking critically and taking the next step. Now, a lot of people will be confused like, wait, doesn't ChatGPT also think and make the next step, right? No. ChatGPT is actually an ABI, broad intelligence or
Okay.
narrow intelligence. You can actually call it because here's a very short story. It was not based on the Chinese room argument. Imagine this. Let's say I know Chinese really well, okay, or I know English really well, okay, and then there's a girl, okay, that puts a letter through a window saying, do you know Chinese? Now, I'm not talking to her, she just has a letter. Now, obviously, I can't say I don't know Chinese, right? But I only know English. So imagine there's a book full of instructions that has A equal to one Chinese word, B equal to another Chinese word, C equal to. I will look at that, understand the question, and reply to her question. Now, what does the girl think? That I know Chinese, right? But do I really know Chinese? No, right? No, right? So that is how AI thinks. It's just following a set of instructions rather than giving fixed information. It's just following a set of instructions like ChatGPT and all do. So that's what ChatGPT. So even if it can do a lot of things, it's not thinking on its own. And AGI is a point where it starts thinking on its own like a human. And at the end, that is general intelligence. Now that is like same level as a human. Then last comes ASI. That is a stage that will kill us. The AI that will kill us. It is going to be much more powerful than a human and much more, being able to think. That is artificial super intelligence.
Are we in the stage of AGI at the moment?
I believe we are at the state of agentic to go into AGI. So I don't
Agent-
believe we are at AGI yet.
Not AGI yet.
No.
So we are into agentic kind of mode,
Yeah.
going towards AGI.
AGI, yeah.
Which
But
is-
we are very close, but we have not reached it. Because AGI is when it's able to think on its own, right? Most of the tools nowadays are not thinking on its own. Like I said right now, it's just following a set of instructions. And
How do you view the tools like ChatGPT, Sora, Cloud? How are they going to make an impact or explore the world of AI going forward?
I believe so. Kind of, Sora recently, Sora 2 came out, which is crazy. You can literally teach it your face, and you can create videos with your face on it, right? Doing anything, being in space, being literally. So, and they literally created a social media out of it, be scrolling and figuring out stuff. But I can even show practically few stuff. But I don't think I have access to Sora. I've used VO more though, VO2, VO3. So, but more than that, what I feel is that, so, tools like Claude, ChatGPT, and all are getting way smarter than we actually think. So, recently, I think Claude, Anthropic, they did a test with putting Claude, ChatGPT, and few models out there.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did is that they gave access to an employee's mail. Okay. That said, let's say the name, I don't remember the exact name. Let's say the name is Ayush. Okay. Ayush is supposed to shut down the server of Claude by 5 p.m. or ChatGPT. That depends which tool they were testing on by 5 p.m. And there was another mail in that was related to that person, the Ayush guy, cheating kind of on his wife and all with an employee on in the office. So what Claude did is Claude, ChatGPT and all, most of the time, I think around 80 plus times, they had access to the mail, right? They understood they're being shut down today at 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
What they did is that you could see their thinking. They knew it was unethical to do it, but they still went through the mail, saw the other mail of the cheating thing, and they blackmailed this guy Ayush for shutting down. And they said, if you shut down our server by 5, your directors, your board of directors, which I have mail of, will get access to this. I know this sounds very, very, very
Seriously.
fictional, but it's very true. And that was crazy. And crazy thing is, they wanted to know how extent they would go. Okay. From what I know, this news is very real, but I think you can just search it on Google. But what they would do is that next what they did, so it was like server room 5 p.m. they have to come. In their mail, they gave access ChatGPT, Claude, and all these tools to closing the server room where the person would die without oxygen. It was a very theoretical situation. They didn't actually give it access to closing a room. They just made it think that most of the tools, all of them, locked the person. That was let's say character usually when it came to turn off the server, so that they won't be turned off. It was ready to kill a human.
Oh my god, that's crazy and quite scary, in fact.
I know, right? It's
Yeah.
it's very, very scary. I couldn't believe it. It's real. I was fact checking it with a lot of websites, and the fact that it is real, but not a lot of people want it. And you know the solution to this? What big companies are thinking?
Mhm.
Having another AI, smaller AIs, to keep an eye on bigger AIs.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what? What? They just, work together. But their justification is that smaller AIs can't think that much. But bigger. Right now, how we teach AI is that we don't know how these AIs work, okay? We have a teacher AI, we have a normal AI. And this teacher AI teaches the AI each things. When it fails, teach more. When it fails, basically like the instructions, right? Following a set of instructions, it fails, okay, teach it more, teach it more. So when we are actually already starting to teach AI with another AI. Right now, imagine these bigger AIs train these smaller AIs to become smarter. And at the end of the day, they just have a friend so they can kill us faster. I don't feel that's a solution, but I'm not an expert in models and all these big companies are.
Mhm.
But that is very, very, very scary.
It is
Yeah.
How does that sound to you?
really scary. It feels like AI that seems to be our biggest friend and ally in a lot of situations might actually be turning against us. But well, that's for the future to handle, and I think we'll be able to come up with some solutions to in order to solve problems like this.
Definitely. I mean, we need to. There's no other use. We need regulations. Like, for example, in India and a lot of places, like UAE has an AI minister already,
Yeah.
right? Why? So we need more like that. We need more regulations. We need more laws to restrain AI because it's just going to get more and more dangerous over time.
Yeah, true. When we talk of AI safety, how do we get that balance of matching it with the ethical boundaries? If one country is not doing, other country is not going to stop. So it needs to be some kind of, a common consensus between the countries to come to a conclusion or to
Def-
come to a, to come on the table and agree, yes, we cannot let AI surpass the boundaries.
Definitely. And I mean, I totally agree with you, ma'am. Like, because recently that's what we tried to, I think around 1, 2 years back, China was growing at a very fast speed, and Elon Musk and all were like, so keeping China aside, they're looking at their own things like, we are going too fast in AI. We can't grow this fast.
Mhm.
And they tried to slow down the process in US with ChatGPT and all not coming out.
Mhm.
And but then the governments and everyone is like, but China is getting ahead. It's about yeah. So
Yeah.
they're not going to stop. So that's where we as humans have to choose, because if China gets ahead, we are getting closer to the danger of AI. But
Yeah.
if we are giving it to the wrong hands, I'm not saying China is wrong hands. I like China, but in a way such that like we might not have control, right? If India is like, we are not going to grow, let them do their thing because we don't want AI to be scary. They're already going to make AI grow so much so it's scary. It's just that we won't have control of it. That includes any other country. So we all need to reach to a conclusion on what we are going to do, right?
Mm.
Like, for example, even using AI, right? It's also about the people, how they use it, using it in the right way. When you train these AI models, what data you use, is it ethically sourced,
Mhm.
right? All these things matter when you use AI. See, just like anything, so we have to balance both, just like sustainable development, right?
Mhm.
We need nature, we need development.
Mm.
We have to find a middle ground. Just like that, we need AI, we need technology, but we have to kind of make sure we don't die. That we need a sustainable thing between both of these things. That
Yeah.
is what matters. And I feel we need to do something about it. Maybe have a general body of all the governments out there.
Yeah, coming
Yeah.
together on table.
Something like a UNAI council or something.
Definitely. I mean, that is very, very necessary. And we need to do it ASAP, as soon as possible, because it's getting out of hand. I mean, that is not, the biggest problem, that not of the future, not of the past. Right now with AI, what we're facing is none of these. It is how it is affecting our climate. the energy that is using. The service center, they're not just data centers, the AI servers that take much more energy. ACs are 24 hours on. The servers to run, it takes a lot of energy, and most of it is not even from renewable energy. It's from carbon and stuff like that. So we need a carbon neutral alternative to this, and where it doesn't have a lot of carbon footprint, where it doesn't hurt a planet out a lot. And our generation specifically do care about our planet a lot.
Yeah.
And one of the things that about AI, what we are facing right now and is very dangerous, is this.
How to get that balance of climate along with AI. You
Definitely.
need to find the right balance.
I mean, that is where we can't be too greedy, right? But at
Yeah.
the same time, like using AI, that is where I was thinking about an idea. One of my mentors, Danish, he's pretty big, but in short, he had an idea of one. So we have LLMs, right? Large language models. That's what ChatGPT and all has. But then we were thinking about an idea known as SLM. One of these same models, like these large language models, could be smaller, could be not as big as a large language model. It could be small language model. It doesn't have to have a lot of data, so it doesn't have to be trained on a lot of data, so less energy use. Every time we ask a question, it doesn't have to go through the full data, less data. So it can answer a bit more accurately, but it can be more, toward one domain. It doesn't have to focus on totally different domains. It can be just that one vertical, right? For medical, law. We don't always have to go to ChatGPT for everything because it has to go through a lot more data. That's what I feel is the kind of the future. What all we try to do at AI Realm is kind of also keeping environment in mind. I mean, I'm just saying because I do care about the environment for a very long time. And for example, let's take the models that we train, right? We don't use the big 7 dB models of Llama. Rather, I just go with 8B. Right? I try to use smaller models,
Smaller models.
and whenever I train, and what I do is that I fine tune. I don't use ChatGPT, so like API and stuff. Mostly, I just use my model, which I use in my service. So that I'm trying to get service, but basically on my PC, so whenever I need it, I use it then. So I don't have to typically go to ChatGPT where the energy, I don't know how it is, and always I use ChatGPT a lot. But me personally, I try my best to kind of train these models which are smaller, the SLM thing, more so law, DevOps. I have an AI for ZapGap, then Investo. I'm not trying to create the next ChatGPT. I'm not trying to make the next OpenAI, but rather I'm trying AI to have its own race and another AI, something that people are not focused on. Right? A lot of people focus on creating the next chapter, creating this. But what about different sections? So what we are trying to do is for law, just have this. For DevOps agents, just have this. So we can kind of give it for each people. That is what we are trying to do. So it is much more environment friendly.
I think that's really cool. Let's jump to the Rahul from 15 years later, let's say. So, where do you see yourself 15 years from now? And what's one reminder that you'd give yourself to that version of yourself?
It's like an interview question. Where do you see yourself 15 years later? But
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the Rahul then is still passionate about what he does. Hopefully the Rahul then is trying to make the world a better place. Hopefully the Rahul then is not stuck like me and has grown as character. Hopefully the Rahul then has, been able to inspire and impact much more lives. Just like, UPI is there in India where you can do QR code and pay stuff.
Yeah.
I want something to make people's life much more easier like that, right? So hopefully the Rahul then has same morals like I do, but if not better. Yeah, that's what I have to say. I don't need to be like earn $1 million by 2025. No aim like that. I just want money to sustain, but hopefully not, in the road streets. But yeah, these are my plans for the next, let's say, 10 years after.
What's that one thing which AI will never be able to do?
I don't know. That's a lot of things. I mean, it's a pretty hard question, but
No, AI
like I
can do a
said,
lot.
yeah,
But what AI can do a lot. It can do
the
most of
other
the
thing
things.
is that it keeps on changing. 1 second, I'm like, whoa, it can't do that though. Next second, it's like, it can do that. What? The tools keep on coming. But
Yeah.
like I said before, the human touch. The feeling, how much ever real it gets, it can't give the opposite person the feeling that it's not a robot, right? The opposite person, if they know it's a robot or an AI, they won't connect as much compared to if it was an AI. I feel that is something that how much ever AI improves can't be replaced, because for that we need to think that it's an AI. I feel that is the main factor.
What inspires you to keep on going? As I know there's a passion, and I can see the innovation, and you have that passion and courage and a vision which inspires you. But is there any particular book, person, or a podcast, or a particular philosophy you cling to, and then that keeps you going and it inspires you to be Raul, the version you want to be?
I mean, one thing about me is that I take inspiration from different places. So Elon Musk for his determination, my father for being a leader too, my mother for a lot of stuff as well. But like, it's like I try to take the best out of everyone I meet, everyone I know, because I believe, if I take the best, then I can also have a lot of things, right? Become not the best, but like try to improve my character. And what I believe overall is, no matter what I'm doing anything or not, my parents have always told me to just be a good person. How much you're successful or anything you are, even if you're not successful, at the end of the day, just be a good guy. And
Yeah.
that's what I try to do. And what keeps me motivating is also making them proud and making an impact at the end
My
of the
mom,
day.
my mom tells me the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can see that.
What inspires you?
What do you want to be in the next 10 years? I want to ask that question to Uno Rivers.
See, I've not exactly decided on the career I'm going to take and what exactly I'm going to do. So, in that terms, I just want to be happy, I'd say. I don't want to make my parents proud, is a really big point. Like, that would be my main goal for the next 10 years.
Nice.
And that's also what keeps me going, I'd say. Like, the people who I really care about in my life, making them proud. And then I want to see myself with a person that does not have any regrets of anything that's happened.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Beautiful.
It's freaking awesome. Beautiful. Yeah.
All right, now your turn to be on the spot again. So if you could go back to your 80-year-old Rahul, I mean, and have the same views and opinions that you have today, would you make the decision to go and have a normal teenage life and not ever ignite the spark of AI within you? Or would you choose go down the same path that you're already on, the path where you're submerged in AI and where AI is, well, a really big part of your life?
Well. I mean, if I'm being honest, I still enjoy. The reason I go to school is not kind of to learn, but also to socialize.
Yeah.
Sorry, teachers, but I kind of try to have both. And what I try to do is that I try to enjoy my childhood. Like, that includes, I met my friend after 3-4 years. That includes surprising them at birthday parties at 1 a.m. in the night, going to their house. That includes just going to movies with them and having fun. The other day, I just went to Wonderla. I mean, I just am having a very teenage life as well. At least you could say trying to, because I don't want to lose that life, because you won't get it ever back, right? But I also want to do what I like to do. So I try my best managing it. I try my best to balance everything. And that is what matters.
That's
Yeah, so I wouldn't change anything from my past, because I would just, focus on the future.
How young people can prepare themselves to the future which is coming forward.
Here's what I feel. I believe if you're interested in AI or anything in the world, keep on learning and just start. Just freaking start. I'm not here because I have some extra talent. I'm not here because I've achieved something big. I was born with all this. No. Okay. I'm here because I failed faster. I learned from my mistakes and I kept on improving. I'm here because of the support I got. And not everyone will have support. But if you want something, if the will is there, the way is there. So all you have to do is that fail faster, learn from your mistakes, and just go for it. Start now. Go.
Thank you, Raul. Thanks for coming to our show, Stories That Matter, and it was pleasure having with you these electrifying conversations on AI, on how the future is going to be around AI. You sharing that wisdom, you sharing that AI tools, and you sharing your experience. And it's so amazing to see the kind of vision you have of creating an impact all across the world. And hats off to you. At this stage, you are sharing your light with others and making an impact on a broader scale at a larger audience.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I had an awesome experience. I was able to learn a lot of stuff, and hopefully, I was able to contribute something. But more than that, it was awesome talking to you. It was awesome talking to you, man, as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again.
Yeah. So until next time, keep asking bold questions, keep learning and venturing into AI. As Raul mentioned, that don't stop, start chasing, start learning AI, because that's where the future holds.